When someone ignores you, the first instinct is to feel hurt, rejected, or even angry. But the truth is, no one has the power to make you feel small unless you hand them that power. Life is too short to waste your energy chasing the attention of those who are blind to your worth. The moment you begin to react to being ignored, you silently admit that their opinion matters more than your peace, your confidence, and your destiny. Greatness is never achieved by those who beg for recognition. It is achieved by those who keep moving forward regardless of who claps or who stays silent. The strongest people in the world are not those who fight back when provoked, but those who choose silence, self-control, and dignity. Imagine a lion walking through the jungle. Does it pause to answer every barking dog? No, because the lion knows its identity. In the same way, when someone ignores you, it does not define your value. It only reveals their blindness. Your responsibility is not to convince them to see you. It is to keep growing until your presence can no longer be overlooked. Remember this: reacting to ignorance is a form of surrender. It is allowing someone else to pull the strings of your emotions. But when you rise above it, when you keep your calm and smile in silence, you prove something extraordinary. You prove that your spirit is unshakable. The world always belongs to those who master themselves. Not those who get mastered by the opinions or neglect of others. There will always be people who pretend not to notice your effort, your heart, your uniqueness. But their silence is not your defeat. It is your training. Every time you refuse to react, you add another layer of strength to your character. You develop the kind of power that makes success inevitable. Success does not come to the one who complains about being ignored. It comes to the one who stays focused while ignored. So the next time someone turns their face away, do not chase, do not explain, do not lower yourself. Instead, thank life for the lesson. Use that moment to double your focus on your goals. Use that rejection to build a fire so bright that one day, even those who once ignored you will have no choice but to recognize you. And when that day comes, you will not need their approval. You will already know your own worth. Silence in the face of ignorance is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the mark of a mind trained to rise above petty distractions and tuned to the frequency of greatness. Those who learn to never react when ignored become unstoppable because they are no longer controlled by the outside world. They know that their value was never dependent on attention. It was always within them. And that unshakable certainty, more than anything else, is what makes a person truly powerful. There is one powerful truth in life. The way you respond when someone ignores you reveals the depth of your strength. When you choose not to react, you rise above the need for validation and reclaim full control over your own emotions. This one discipline, the ability to remain calm and unshaken when someone overlooks you, can change the entire direction of your life. Because behind every success story, behind every strong personality, there is a moment where they had to stand tall in silence while others dismissed them. And instead of bending under the weight of rejection, they used it as fuel to grow stronger. Think about what happens when you react to being ignored. You may feel the urge to demand attention, to prove your worth, to remind someone of your value. But in doing so, you tie your self-respect to their recognition. You give them control over your mood, your confidence, and even your future decisions. That is exactly how most people stay trapped, living like puppets, controlled by the strings of others' opinions. But the few who master the art of not reacting, they cut those strings forever. They live free, because their sense of self is not dependent on the outside world. Not reacting does not mean you do not feel. It means you feel deeply, but you choose not to be enslaved by those feelings. It means you understand the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is instant, emotional, and often destructive. Response is deliberate, thoughtful, and rooted in power. When you are ignored, the reaction is to lash out, to complain, or to shrink into self-pity. The response, however, is silence, composure, and persistence. That silence is not weakness. It is the roar of inner strength. Imagine you are climbing a mountain. On your way up, some people may cheer, Some may criticize, and others may act as if you don't even exist. If you stop every time someone ignores you, you will never reach the peak. The mountain does not care who claps for you. It only rewards the one who keeps climbing. In the same way, the life does not reward you for being noticed. It rewards you for refusing to give up when you are unnoticed. Your quiet determination will take you higher than any attention ever could. Every great achiever has walked this road. History is filled with examples of people who were ignored, doubted, even ridiculed, yet they refused to react. They did not beg for attention. They focused on building themselves. Thomas Edison was told countless times that his experiments were useless. Yet he ignored the dismissal and continued until the light bulb illuminated the world. Napoleon Hill himself was often overlooked in the early years, but he stayed persistent until his philosophy influenced millions. The lesson is clear. If they had reacted with anger or despair every time they were ignored, they would have abandoned their mission. Their greatness was born in their silence and in their ability to keep moving forward without needing recognition. Now, let's go deeper into why ignoring the ignorance of others is such a powerful weapon. First, it protects your energy. Every human being wakes up with a limited supply of emotional energy each day. If you waste the energy reacting to people who do not value you, you will have nothing left to invest in your dreams. But if you preserve that energy, if you channel it into your goals, your growth, your vision, you become unstoppable. Energy wasted on petty things is gone forever. Energy invested in your growth compounds into greatness. Second, choosing not to react builds unshakable confidence. Confidence does not come from everyone praising you. It comes from knowing that even if no one acknowledges you, you are still enough. The person who can walk into a room full of silence, rejection, or indifference and still carry themselves with dignity is the person who owns true power. This confidence cannot be bought, it cannot be gifted. It is forged in the fire of being ignored and still standing tall. Third, it keeps your focus where it belongs. Reaction distracts you, the response sharpens you. The more you focus on who is ignoring you, the less you focus on your purpose. But when you learn to stay calm, when you keep your eyes fixed on your path, you begin to rise above the noise. The truth is, no one can block your destiny but you. Not being noticed by some people today does not mean you are not destined for greatness tomorrow. It simply means your growth is still in progress and the world is not yet ready to see what you are becoming. There is also a hidden gift in being ignored. It forces you to develop independence. When you stop depending on others for attention, you start depending on yourself for growth. You stop seeking validation and start seeking mastery. You stop craving approval and start craving progress. This transformation is what separates leaders from followers. Leaders are not those who never feel the sting of being ignored. They are those who feel it and keep building anyway. You must also realize that being ignored is often not even about you. People ignore because they are distracted, insecure, or too caught up in their own struggles. To react is to assume their actions define your worth. But to remain calm is to understand that their behavior reflects them, not you. The mature mind does not take every slight personally. It sees through it and continues on its mission. The key lies in practicing this discipline daily. Every time you feel overlooked, pause, take a deep breath. Remind yourself, my value does not decrease because someone cannot see it. Use that moment as training. The more you practice not reacting, the stronger your inner muscle becomes. Eventually, you reach a stage where people's opinions, whether good or bad, cannot move you. Praise does not inflate you, and neglect does not deflate you. You become balanced, centered, unshakable. And here is the greatest reward of all. When you stop reacting to being ignored, you create an aura of power that people cannot resist. Ironically, the less you chase attention, the more it finds you. The person who does not beg for recognition, who walks in calm confidence, always attracts more respect than the one who reacts out of insecurity. People eventually notice strength, even if they ignored it at first. So, this single key point, the ability to never react when ignored, is not just about handling small situations. It is about building a character so strong that no outside force can control it. It is about living above distractions, above pettiness, above the need for approval. It is about rising into the rare group of people who are remembered, not because they demanded attention, but because they became so powerful, so valuable, so extraordinary, that ignoring them became impossible. The true measure of strength is not how loudly you respond when someone ignores you, but how quietly you keep moving forward. When you choose not to react, you protect your energy, you protect your focus, and you protect your dignity. You rise above the noise of other people's neglect and place your attention where it belongs, on your own growth, your own goals, and your own greatness. Being ignored is not a sign of your weakness, it is an invitation to build inner power. And once you master this power, no rejection can stop you, no silence can break you, and no lack of attention can ever define you. The world eventually bows to those who refuse to be distracted, those who keep building in silence until their presence becomes undeniable. So never react when someone ignores you. Turn that moment into fuel, turn that silence into strength, and let your unshakable calmness lead you to a life where you are not just noticed, but truly remembered,